Okay, so this is for ECE 4300 for the spring of 2022, and this is the SHA-1 performance analysis on embedded platforms experimentation. So you can see here we have our Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, we have our Jetson Nano 4GB, and we also have a Raspberry Pi 4B. So that's currently on this monitor over here, and what I'm going to do with this one is this is going to transmit data to that Pi. So what it's going to do, it's going to hash some basic TXT file that just has a single sentence in it, and then it's going to send that value over to this Pi over here, and this Pi is going to use a Linux command line function to verify this or create a hash, and then this hash is gonna be compared to the one that was sent over the network, and if they're the same, then we had a collision, which is bad, but if they're not, then that's good, because that means the hash worked properly. So we're gonna get that started right now. So first, what I'm gonna do is, you can see here that I have my essentially a server. So I'm running my ifconfig, and I'm connected over Ethernet right here, which is connected to this switch, which is connected to this switch, which is connected to our router. So essentially, I'm gonna be binding on this IP right here, and then I just picked a random dynamic port. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute my program using Python 3. And this one is going to be the receiving end. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to enter it in. It's going to ask which device we're running on, and you can see here that this is the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. So I'm going to press 1, enter, and then the device's IP, which is right on over here. So that's 192.168.254.97. So I'm going to enter that value right here. You can see that we're getting some system information, and now we're listening on port 64,321 on this Pi's IP address. So now I'm going to go over to this Pi over here, and I'm essentially going to do the same thing, where I'm going to execute a Python 3 script, which I called SHA-1. Oh, wrong directory. So now, if I do sudo Python 3 SHA-1, and then this one's going to be the transmitter, and then we're going to go here, and then we're just going to ask which device that we're using, and this one is the 4B, so I'm going to put 2, and then the device's IP is the server that I'm trying to connect to, which is the other one, which was 198.164.254.97. And you can see here that we got a hashed value, and it connected to the server. It's sending a hash file, and then it's sending another file, which is the ASCII code, so that way the other one can try to execute the hash in Linux. And then you can see over here that I have my USB power meter, which conveniently gives me the voltage, the current, and the calculated power. And that's just connected to a standard Raspberry Pi connector, and then comes out to this port over here. So that's essentially how we're gathering all our data.